Well, I figured I'd come out here to the garden and do a quick video because everything seems to be growing and changing every single day. So I think I'd like to start documenting this and maybe get me and the kids' little YouTube channel thing that we're talking about getting going called Brand New Homestead. And maybe this will turn into something. It's kind of an experiment to see if we can document our adventures and how we can grow our family and our homestead together. And I'll just get showing the garden right now. Overall garden is 100 feet by about 40 feet. It's all fenced off. I just used T-posts and chicken wire to keep the deer out. We're in southern New Hampshire area and there's a pretty heavy deer and turkey population. This ground was just a year ago, not even a year ago, completely forested, just like that. That's my property line along that stone wall. And you can see how thick those woods are. Well, that's what this was just like. We had about 3 acres cleared off, in the process of developing some pasture land, opening up the area around our house to get a little more space and use out of it. I'll give, I guess I can do some videos later and show you the progress on how that's going. But through the garden, I'll just take a little walk through. It's gated. Let me back up. I have it gated. 2 6-foot gates from Tractor Supply, so I can get in there with a bigger tractor or trailer with amendments or whatnot. Hopefully that'll keep the deer out of it too. But I think they got enough stuff out in the woods to eat to stay away from my garden for now. I do not follow seed spacing recommendations at all. I kind of do what I want, what I feel like. So a lot of my stuff is densely packed together, but that's just how I like doing it. Right off the bat, we have 2 rows of peas that are extremely tight together. And my hope is that they'll support each other instead of having to put some sort of trellis in there. So you see that they're about 8-10 inches tall, and you can't even tell them apart. There's so many. In between those, I have bush beans growing in there. So again, hopefully the peas will be done by the time the beans get a little bit bigger and get some more use out of that space. Over on this side, I have, get out of the sun here, a little fenced off area for spaghetti squash. I'm growing those guys. I'm going to trellis them up the fence. Right along this side in the corner, I got some zucchini stuck in there. Again, taking advantage of some space. And I have another set of just welded wire fencing held up with some T-posts. And that's going to be butternut squash and buttercup squash. And the plan for those is to trellis them up that fence also. A long time ago, we lived in California, and I grew butternut squash out there, trellised, and it was awesome. So hopefully this turns into a giant couple walls of squash. Down this row here, it's probably like 20 feet. A couple different varieties of pumpkins. There's a pie pumpkin and a jack-o'-lantern style pumpkin. So those I know are going to spread out. So I gave them some space. Down this row here, we have some sweet potatoes, slips that I'd ordered online. And it's amazing. Those things came in the mail and they looked absolutely dead. And a week in the ground with some sun and water, and they took right off. This little section here, hopefully going to be some cantaloupes. I got a couple little guys sprouting right there. Right here, we have a big bed, probably 20 foot square, and it's a mix of broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. And these things were basically the first thing we put in the ground. Today is June 16th, I think, 2021. And these were we put these in about 6 weeks ago. And my wife and I both thought that they were all going to die. But they took right off. I got some zucchini and summer squash stashed in some little corners here. Take advantage of some space. Nice row of sunflowers. But these are doing awesome. Got another big section of tomatoes. all different varieties. I can't tell you what's what because, again, I don't do things ordinarily. I don't really label seeds. I don't keep track of that. I put plants in the ground and I like the surprise. But my original plan was to make some homemade tomato cages because the ones you get at the stores are garbage. I was going to use 72 inch, 60 inch, whatever it is, welded wire fence, make my own tomato cages, but I might still do that. I don't know. Right now I don't feel like doing it. I got more tomatoes to plant, but I think I'm going to save some space to try to get some fall stuff going. This soil over on this edge, pretty rocky, pretty sandy, so it needs a lot of amendments and some more work. So I think I might just wait. Got a nice big patch of corn. The wife and I just weeded that about a week ago. We got over a full wheelbarrow of weeds that we pulled out of there. Threw some 10-10-10 down. Threw some crimson clover seed to try to do some cover crop, companion planting stuff. And hopefully control the weeds and fix some nitrogen to the roots for that corn. But that's pretty much the end of that bed, out at the end of the garden. I got 2 T-post sprinklers. They run for an hour a day. I got one here and another one down on the other side. I'll show you in a minute. But everything is doing awesome. This is our first garden that we've had in, I don't know, 7 years, 6-7 years, something like that. It's been a long time. It's our first time here in New Hampshire. We've been living here for about a year now. Originally from the area, but finally moved back. This bed right here, another, I don't know, 25 by 25. I got 2 rows of potatoes, and this doesn't do it justice what these potatoes look like. I know our possible channel name for this YouTube thing is Brand New Homestead, and you're not seeing stuff brand new, but better late than never. But these potatoes are amazing. They're probably 2 feet tall and awesome. Had some Colorado potato beetles on there. I hit it with some liquid 7. I'm not organic, I'm not all that. I plant stuff and I expect production. So if I have to use chemical fertilizers, I do. I just use it sparingly and, use my brains. Couple rows of beans and some more bush beans. All right, those are, I think, from Johnny's. I had to order them last year. I held on to them. Never got anything going last year. It's a good thing I ordered them last year because this year everything was sold out or restricted to commercial sales. So good germination on all that stuff, and they're looking great. And I got 3 rows of carrots here. And again, like I told you, I don't follow seed spacing recommendations. I don't really care about that stuff. But these suckers are growing good. I don't care what shape they turn out to be. They're still going to be delicious. So, quick look. Another little fence section. I'll walk around so I don't have my shadow in the shot. This little corner section is kind of like a keyhole garden style. Basically, it gives you some access from 3 sides. And I just build up the soil level with, soil, compost, and stuff like that. But have a row of cucumbers, staggered to planting time, so we get staggered to harvest. And again, I'm going to put them up on these fences and let them trellis up. I had a lot of extra peppers, so I stuck a few peppers in here. I got a row of rutabagas seeded in there. They haven't started coming up yet, but hopefully there's enough room. I think by the time the cucumbers are done, those will be all set. Like I said, a bunch of peppers. They're all looking pretty small, but they're doing good. If they get big enough to need stakes or support, I'll go out here and do that later. But jalapenos, cayennes, bells, Thai chilies, stuff like that. I got a few little tomatoes that we planted horizontally. You leave them laying down. All my tomatoes got really leggy because I started them in the front window, not under lights or anything like that. So my tomatoes got really leggy. I left them outside for a week, laying down horizontally, and the growing end, you know, the top 6-8 inches turns towards the sky, makes a 90-degree angle in the stem, and you get to plant. You can plant them horizontally and get all that stem and root ball into the ground. Another row of tomatoes. Again, I don't know what they are. You know, a mix of beefsteak, celebrities, Amish paste. I don't remember what else. Big boys. But those are planted at a different time. Staked up. Looking good. I got another row of potatoes. These are Yukon Golds. I got some more in the other bed that I already showed you. They were doing so great, I went and got some more. Again, you know, just built up the soil bed, stacked it up there, and threw potatoes in the soil. Down this little corner I got, well, this is kind of an afterthought. I put some more summer squash seeds in there, and then I ended up getting those sweet potatoes, and I ran out of space in the other bed over there. So I stuck them in here. So I got a mix of summer squash and sweet potatoes growing right here. You can see those guys are doing really good. Everyone's doing pretty good. And we'll see what happens. If they work out, they work out. If not, you know what I mean, I won't do that again next year. And again, I got another bunch of peppers, whole bunch of peppers. Red bells, yellow bells, same thing, cayennes, jalapenos. I just threw some compost on the ground. I'm trying to suppress some of the weeds I had going on. I got some bad compost earlier in the season, and the stuff is nasty. It's full of weed seeds. So hopefully this kind of helps suppress some of that. But that's all doing good, all growing. There's the other little T-post sprinklers, probably one of the best deals at Tractor Supply. It was like 12 bucks, 15 bucks, something like that. Run some hose. Hose is the hardest part. I don't have water down here at the garden. I'm over 400 feet from the house. Excuse me. But it works. This last bed, I'll try to wrap this up. Got a bunch of onions, red onions, white onions. Stuff I started from seed. Mostly what I started from seed. Then my dad gave me some leftover bulb starts that he didn't use in his garden. Those things are doing actually way better. But these are long day onions, so I expect them to take a little while. I gotta hill them up a little bit and cover some of those bulbs. Keep them protected, keep them growing. But got a row of sunflowers in there. These are like the pretty orangey pink ones, I think. The other ones over there are the mammoths. They're gonna get real big, I hope. Then I got another row and a half of beans. A little bit of dead space in the garden. That's okay. We need some space to work. And a pretty tightly packed mess of lettuce. But that's all right. We rip a bunch of handfuls off and clean it up and eat it for dinner every, just about every night. So it's good. The kids get to get out here and do that stuff. And maybe it'll regrow. Maybe it'll not. Not a big deal. And another bunch of carrots. But these guys get the least amount of water. They're over here in the far corner, and half the time I'm too lazy to actually drag the hose over here, but they're still doing all right. They're still doing pretty good. Yeah, there's a big giant mess of carrots right here. But that's all right. They'll grow. You know, a little intertwined planting of sunflowers, you know, a couple corners here and there. Got a little sunflower action. But that's about it. I'll keep it under 15 minutes. And like I said, this is kind of the first attempt. I don't know how to edit, so I'm going to try to do everything one take. So you get what you get. That's how we are as a family. That's how I am as a person. So I guess video 1 of the brand new homestead. The name here is Blake. Thanks.